In a small village located in Oyo State, Nigeria, there lived a man named Chief Bala Oseni. His name alone struck fear into the hearts of the villagers. Chief Bala was a ruthless businessman who controlled nearly every aspect of living in the town. He owned the factories where the men worked, the stores where families bought their food, and even the water supply. If anyone dared to oppose him, he crushed them, sometimes physically. His immense power, wealth, and cunning intelligence made him untouchable. Or so he thought. Chief Bala's reign over the town began in his youth when he inherited his father's cocoa plantations, and he quickly built his empire by deceiving, blackmailing, and terrorizing those who stood in his way. His shadow grew so wide over the town that even the local government officials were little more than his puppets. People whispered stories of his cruelty late at night, in quiet tones, afraid that even the walls might betray them. Chief Bala relished the fear he instilled. It was proof of his dominance. He believed no one could ever challenge him, let alone defeat him. But one day, a young woman named Amina Adesina entered the town. Amina, barely in her 20s, was an orphan raised in a neighboring village. She had come to Chief Bala's town looking for work after hearing there were factory jobs available. She arrived with nothing but a small bag of clothes and a fiery determination to make a better life for herself. Little did she know that her path would soon connect with the town's most dangerous man. Amina found work in one of Chief Bala's textile factories. The conditions were harsh, endless hours, unsafe machinery, and barely enough pay to cover a meal. Yet, she worked tirelessly, earning the respect of her fellow workers for her cheerful manner and funny remarks. Over time, Amina began to notice the patterns of abuse and exploitation that seemed to vibrate like an endless wave across the village. The factories were no different. Workers were fired for speaking out, and accidents were ignored. Those who dared to resist Chief Bala's control were silenced in one way or another. One evening, as she walked home from the factory, Amina encountered a man sitting on the steps of a collapsing building. He was old, frail, and visibly defeated. His name was Baba Tund, a former union leader who had tried to organize the factory workers years ago. He told Amina how Chief Bala crushed the union effort by threatening the workers and their families, forcing Baba Tund into hiding. His story caused a spark in Amina's heart. She decided she would not be another part in Chief Bala's oppressive machine. She would fight. Amina began by quietly rallying the workers in her factory. She spoke of the power they held together and the changes they could demand. Her intelligence and passion were contagious, and soon, whispers of rebellion began spreading through the town. Chief Bala's spies reported the murmurs to him, but he dismissed them with a chuckle. A little girl stirring up trouble, he scoffed. Let her try. But Amina was no ordinary troublemaker. She was strategic and fearless. She uncovered documents proving Chief Bala had been skimming from workers' wages for years, and she used her findings to gain the support of the villagers. Her secret meetings grew larger, and soon, the workers from all of Chief Bala's factories began uniting under her leadership. One fateful day, Amina and her followers organized a massive strike. Thousands of workers gathered in the town square, demanding better wages, safer working conditions, and an end to Chief Bala's iron grip. The town came to a standstill. Chief Bala, for the first time in decades, felt the ground beneath his feet tremble, not from his power but from the refusal of those he had oppressed. Chief Bala was furious and sent his private guards to put an end to the strike. But Amina had prepared for this. She had secretly contacted journalists from outside the town, who arrived just in time to capture the guards' brutality on film. The footage made its way to the newspapers, and soon, the whole region was buzzing with outrage. The government, pressured by public opinion, launched an investigation into Chief Bala's empire. Realizing the tide was turning against him, Chief Bala tried to silence Amina personally. He summoned her to his grand mansion, a large mansion with a view of the town from a hilltop. He offered her money, power, and a comfortable life if she called off the strike. But Amina refused. "You can't buy me, Chief Bala," she said, her voice steady. "And you can't buy justice." Angered by her refusal to comply, Chief Bala threatened her, saying, "Do you know who I am? I could crush you with a snap of my fingers." Amina didn't flinch. "And yet, here I stand," she replied, her eyes blazing with courage. The confrontation marked the beginning of Chief Bala's downfall. Amina continued to rally the workers and expose more of his corrupt dealings. She worked tirelessly, even as threats against her life grew. Chief Bala, once untouchable, found himself cornered. His businesses began crumbling under the weight of investigations and lawsuits. His allies abandoned him, afraid of being dragged down with him. In a desperate attempt to regain control, Chief Bala arranged a final showdown. He hired mercenaries to stage a violent crackdown on the workers. The town square erupted into chaos as the mercenaries clashed with unarmed workers. But Amina, unafraid, took the lead and encouraged everyone to stand firm. Her bravery inspired them, and they resisted with remarkable unity. The battle reached its peak when Chief Bala himself appeared, flanked by his guards. He shouted at the crowd, declaring himself the rightful ruler of the town. But Amina confronted him, her voice ringing out above the chaos. "You rule nothing, Chief Bala," she said. "Your power was built on fear, and that fear is gone." The statements gave the villagers more confidence, turned against Chief Bala's guards. Outnumbered and overwhelmed, the guards fled, leaving Chief Bala alone. As the people surged toward him, he realized the truth. His empire had crumbled, not from external forces but from the strong courage of a single young woman. Chief Bala was arrested and later convicted of numerous crimes. His empire was destroyed, and the town began rebuilding under the leadership of Amina and other brave workers. The once oppressed people finally found their voices, and Amina became a symbol of resilience and hope. Years later, when asked how she managed to defeat such a powerful man, Amina simply said, "I didn't defeat him. We did. Together, we were stronger than his greed and cruelty could ever be." And so, the town that had once been a symbol of oppression became a beacon of justice, all because a young woman dared to stand up to a tyrant.